There is something I need you to hear today, and it is not a message that arrives by accident. The moment you clicked on this video, a hidden chapter began to open. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Right now. And before we go any further, don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason these words found you at this exact moment. For a long time, someone has been trying to understand you. Not the version of you that the world sees. Not the smile you show everyone. Not the strong face you put on when nobody knows what is happening inside your heart. Someone has been searching for the real you. The hidden you. The quiet you. The version of you that exists behind every unanswered question. And what they recently discovered changed everything. At first, they thought they understood your story. They believed they knew what motivated you. They believed they knew what you wanted. But then something unexpected happened. A realization appeared. A truth surfaced. A missing piece finally connected. And the moment it did, their feelings could no longer stay the same. Listen carefully. Because this revelation was not small. It was not ordinary. It was not something they simply noticed and moved on from. No. This discovery stopped them. It made them think. It made them reflect. It made them question things they had never questioned before. And what happened next? Nobody saw coming. Don't skip. The next few moments matter more than you realize. Because this story may sound mysterious at first. But as it unfolds, you may begin to recognize pieces of your own journey. You see, your soulmate has been watching from a distance. Not necessarily with their eyes. But with their heart. There were moments when they felt connected to you without understanding why. Moments when your energy seemed impossible to ignore. Moments when thoughts of you appeared unexpectedly. And every time they tried to explain it logically, something deeper kept pulling them back. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt like certain connections refuse to disappear no matter how much time passes? That is because some bonds operate beyond ordinary understanding. And this bond is one of them. For a long time, your soulmate believed they were seeing only part of the picture. But recently, something shifted. A veil lifted. The way they viewed everything. What was it? Stay with me. Hidden truth emerged. And suddenly they realized something about you that changed. Because we're getting closer. The discovery wasn't about your appearance. It wasn't about your achievements. It wasn't about what you own. It wasn't about your status. It was something far more powerful. They discovered the strength you carry. The strength you rarely talk about. The strength you don't even recognize in yourself sometimes. They saw how many battles you faced silently. How many disappointments you survived. How many moments tried to break your spirit. And yet, you kept moving forward. Even when nobody applauded. Even when nobody noticed. Even when nobody understood. You continued. And when they truly understood that, everything changed. Because suddenly they realized they weren't looking at someone ordinary. They were looking at someone who had survived storms while still carrying kindness. Someone who had experienced setbacks but refused to lose hope. Someone who had every reason to give up, yet didn't. That realization hit them harder than they expected. And what happened after that realization? That's where things become surprising. Because your soulmate expected themselves to react one way. But instead, they reacted completely differently. And that unexpected reaction is creating movement behind the scenes right now. Movement you may not see yet. Movement you may not understand yet. But movement that is real. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Right now, there is a shift taking place. A shift that began the moment they discovered who you truly are beneath the surface. They are no longer focused on assumptions. They are no longer focused on appearances. They are no longer focused on temporary things. Now their attention is fixed on something deeper. Something lasting. Something meaningful. And that changes everything. Because when someone discovers the truth of a person's heart, their next move becomes impossible to predict. Some become afraid. Some become inspired. Some become determined. And your soulmate? Their response was completely unexpected. The kind of response that makes people stop and say, "Wait, they did what?" We're going to uncover that. But first, understand this. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. Not the delays. Not the lessons. Not the waiting. Not the moments when you wondered if anyone truly understood you. Every experience shaped a part of the story. Every chapter prepared something greater. And now, someone is beginning to see the masterpiece hidden inside the pages you almost threw away. That realization alone carries enormous power. Because most people never allow themselves to look deeply enough to see it. But your soulmate did. And once they saw it, they couldn't unsee it. The discovery became unforgettable. The realization became undeniable. And the next move they made may be the last thing anyone expected. Stay with me. Because what comes next reveals why this discovery happened now and not earlier. The answer is closer than you think. A strange shift has already begun. And your soulmate did not expect this feeling to become so powerful. The discovery they made about you was supposed to answer questions. Instead, it created even more. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what happened next was not planned. The moment they truly understood the strength hidden inside your heart, they expected themselves to simply admire you from a distance. But that is not what happened. Something much deeper began growing. Curiosity. Respect. Admiration. And then, something they could no longer ignore. For the first time, they started wondering what your future might look like. Not separately, but together. And that thought surprised them. Because it arrived suddenly. Without warning. Without preparation. Like a door opening in a room they thought was already complete. Listen carefully. This is where the story becomes powerful. Your soulmate discovered that every challenge you faced had created something rare inside you. Patience, wisdom, understanding, and a quiet strength that most people never develop. They realized you were not becoming stronger because life was easy. You became stronger because you kept moving forward when things were difficult. That realization stayed in their mind. Day after day, moment after moment. And the more they thought about it, the more impossible it became to forget. Have you noticed how some people enter your thoughts briefly and disappear? But others remain there for weeks, months, sometimes even longer. That is exactly what began happening. The thought of you stopped being temporary. It became constant. And every time they tried to focus somewhere else, something brought their attention back. Back to your energy. Back to your journey. Back to the person you truly are. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because we still haven't reached the most surprising part. One evening, while reflecting on everything they had learned, a realization appeared. A realization that changed the entire direction of their thoughts. They suddenly understood something. The qualities they admired most were not things that could be bought. Not things that could be copied. Not things that could be faked. They were qualities that came from experience, growth, resilience, compassion. And they saw all of them inside you. That is when the unexpected happened. Instead of questioning whether they should move closer, they began questioning why they had waited so long. Read that again in your heart. Instead of wondering if you mattered, they started wondering why they had underestimated your importance. That changes everything. Because once someone reaches that realization, their perspective can never return to what it was before. The old assumptions disappear. The old doubts fade. And a new chapter begins. Right now, your soulmate is looking at the connection differently than ever before. Not as a possibility, not as a coincidence, but as something meaningful. Something worth understanding. Something worth exploring. And that is creating movement behind the scenes. Movement you cannot see yet. But movement that is becoming stronger every day. There is a reason you are hearing these words today. The timing matters. The message matters. And what happens next matters. Because your soulmate is beginning to understand that some connections arrive for a purpose. Some people appear for a reason. And some journeys are designed to cross paths no matter how many delays appear along the way. That understanding is growing inside them. Quietly. Steadily. Powerfully. And with every passing moment, one question keeps returning to their mind. A question they never expected to ask. What if this connection is more important than I realized? The moment that question appeared, everything started changing. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the next chapter, we uncover the surprising decision forming inside their heart right now. A decision that began the moment they discovered the truth about you. And once you hear it, you will understand why this revelation has become impossible for them to ignore. The next revelation changed everything. And this is the moment where the story becomes impossible to ignore. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the question that began forming inside your soulmate's heart was not small. It was not temporary. And it certainly was not expected. The more they reflected on what they had discovered about you, the more they realized something surprising. They were no longer focused on who you used to be. They were focused on who you are becoming. That distinction matters. Most people judge others by old chapters, old mistakes, old assumptions, old versions. But your soulmate began seeing something different. They began seeing potential, growth, transformation, a future that had not fully revealed itself yet. And once they noticed it, they could not stop thinking about it. Imagine standing before a sunrise. At first, the horizon is dark. Then suddenly a small light appears. And before you know it, the entire sky is changing. That is exactly what happened inside their perspective. A light appeared. A realization emerged. And everything started looking different. They began connecting pieces they had never connected before. Moments that once seemed ordinary suddenly felt important. Details they once overlooked suddenly stood out. Conversations, memories, feelings. Everything started forming a larger picture. A picture they had never seen before. And that picture contained you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next part is where their unexpected move truly began. One day, while reflecting on everything, they asked themselves a question. A question that arrived so suddenly it caught them off guard. What if this connection entered my life for a reason? Not coincidence. Not luck. Not randomness. A reason. And once that question entered their mind, it refused to leave. It followed them. It returned during quiet moments. It appeared when they least expected it. And every time it returned, the answer became clearer. You were becoming impossible to ignore. Now listen carefully. This next revelation is powerful. Your soulmate discovered something about themselves because of you. Yes. Not just something about you. Something about themselves. They realized they had been holding back. Holding back from believing. Holding back from trusting. Holding back from possibilities they once considered unrealistic. But then they saw your resilience. Your determination. Your ability to continue despite uncertainty. And it inspired something inside them. A part of themselves they thought had disappeared. Hope. Real hope. The kind that changes decisions. The kind that changes perspectives. The kind that changes futures. That was the unexpected discovery. You were affecting them more than they realized. Not through force. Not through pressure. Simply through who you are. And that influence became impossible for them to deny. Every day, the realization grew stronger. Every day, the connection felt more meaningful. Every day, the idea of ignoring it became harder. And then, a turning point arrived. A moment so important that it shifted everything. Your soulmate stopped asking whether this connection mattered, and started asking what they should do about it. Read that carefully. That single change transformed everything. Because once someone moves from uncertainty to consideration, a new chapter begins. Suddenly possibilities appear. Suddenly actions become imaginable. Suddenly doors begin opening. That is exactly where they are now. Standing at the edge of a new chapter. Thinking differently. Feeling differently. Seeing differently. And the most surprising part? They never expected to arrive here. Not this quickly. Not this strongly. Not this deeply. Yet here they are. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what happens next is connected to a decision. A decision forming quietly inside their heart. A decision influenced by everything they have recently discovered. And that decision is growing stronger with every passing day. You may not see it. You may not hear it. But it is there. Like a seed beneath the surface preparing to break through the ground. The process has already begun. The movement has already started. The shift is already happening. And in the next chapter, we uncover the moment they finally stop questioning their feelings and start embracing what this connection truly means. What they choose next may be the most unexpected part of this entire story. And once you hear it, you will understand why this revelation was never meant to stay hidden forever.